creating that, designing that experience. I think that is what moves us a lot in what we do, okay? Is creating that magical moment for people.
We are really excited to have the esteemed Jorge Hasbun joining us today. Mr. Hasbun is the principal architect for Grupos Arquitectos based in Santiago, Chile, and he will be talking about his beautiful project, Salones VIP Primeclass Pacifico, at the brand new Santiago International Airport. Jorge, the Grupo Arquitecto has over 20 years of experience in the airport industry, and with this extensive knowledge to passenger experience, could you tell us what were the main considerations you took into account when designing the VIP lounges for the Santiago airport?
Thanks, Brittany. We've developed lots of projects, and within our experience, we've developed more than 22 VIP lounges. We came up to the concept of designing a VIP lounge where the senses are the base of every moment in the project. Okay, it's an extra sensorial experience. Well-being is the base part of the experience. We don't believe in the VIP lounges as a final destiny. We believe it's part of a process of a traveling experience. So what we do with the VIP lounge, we try to explore and design a space where the passenger can relax and can live a situation beyond the stress and the very tense moment you have when you travel, which is something that's unavoidable, okay? So within this project, it's very also interesting to transmit that we invited to the project to collaborate to the Italian firm Pininfarina. So the VIP lounges are called Primeclass Pacifico, designed by Pininfarina. So all the products in the project itself could contribute to this experience.
I do know you, of course, the Pininfarina, and what this means to your team, having this design icon on your project.
But first of all, we combined experiences in design. Pininfarina has 90 years of experience in the design industry and the transportation industry. But it's also, this project is very interesting because it's the beginning of a new brand, which is Primeclass Pacifico, designed by Pininfarina. They could make this happen. This is the first VIP lounge that Pininfarina has collaborated in the world.
What was the design inspiration for the VIP lounge?
What we did for the project, our company was in charge of all of the project, of the whole interior design of the new terminal, which is almost 180,000 square meters. So we created a concept for the whole terminal. We started, it's very interesting because we started by the base, asking ourselves, what is Chile as a country, as a nation? And what concept will we bring to this new terminal? So our conclusion, we interviewed people, we talked with authors, politicians, creative people, entrepreneurs. We talked with lots of kind of persons. So we finally got to the conclusion that Chile is nature. There are 5 VIP lounges. It's a pack of 5 VIP lounges, which are in the different parts of the terminal. And every part of the terminal has a regional geographical concept of the country. We have the north, we have the desert, we have the middle area, which is the metropolis. We have the south, which is the Patagonia and the region of the lakes. So all the geographical concepts are in the terminal. So what this project did also, it took these concepts and put them in the lounge. So in those terms, that's the base, which is a very biophilic design, has to do with nature. We created this new concept, which also has to do with the synesthesia. That means that something creates a feeling in your senses, which not only has to do with what you see, what you look, what you feel, what you hear. So that's very interesting when you explore that in terms of of people and their feelings. At the end of the day, it's a feeling. What your design is offering to the experience. It works with the feeling and the senses.
Well, I found it interesting because obviously you did the design, Chile is nature, right? And obviously designing the different lounges. And going back to your original word of designing it around the sensory, but I also loved how you said the lounges are not the end of the traveling journey, it's part of the journey. And so obviously taking into consideration the nature and the lighting and basing this on the circadian rhythm,
Yes.
and putting this all together, do you mind telling me a little bit more of how this also goes to benefit the passengers too?
And that has a lot to do with well-being. And that rhythm has been designed, and the project has technology where all the light during the day and during the night is working in a cycle that is always involving people. We designed inclusively a pre-space before the washrooms to create a better experience. And this is something very special because it's not very common. Square meters in airports are very tight, always. So we could do that in this case, and we could create a pre-hall for the washrooms, which creates a better experience in terms of anticipating a new space before the washrooms. So with this space and the washrooms, we create a better experience for the passenger, and we don't enter the washrooms immediately, and we have a situation before the washroom experience. And what we also try to do is create very clean spaces, not only of cleanliness, but clean spaces and experience. We try to use all products and try to create a very sustainable project, not only with the products we use and the materials, okay? We try to keep it on time. So the project is very efficient in terms of air conditioning, lightning projects, natural light. We use a lot of natural light. These VIP lounges have the unique experience that they're on the platform level. So you can see the aircrafts and all the ground handling operation. So that's also something very interesting to experience in a VIP lounge.
How does transparency play a role in the design process?
Transparency for us is very important in order to see space. The lounges are not very partitioned in spaces, okay? We have a resting area, then we have a big important hall, we have the pre-washroom area, and then the washrooms. And in that experience, transparency and light is very important for us to have a very open space.
I know that your project aims to promote your passenger comfort, but do you mind elaborating on how this was achieved in the way of your washrooms?
I saw the SWAR in the United States, and we said, okay, we need this product in the lounge because it's a product that makes everything flow. It's paperless, it's clean. We also designed a faucet for the product exact for the lounge. And it had everything we needed for a clean, super open experience, and everything that, as I was telling you before, having everything flow. So we contacted a local distributor, and he made it happen, bring this product to Chile. And what was very interesting is that our client bought the product before we started construction. This product was so important for the project that we had the client buy the product and bring it, before construction started and began. So in those terms, we had one of the most important things in the washroom experience, one of the most important products in our hands before starting building the VIP lounges.
Can you explain more about the pre-wash bathroom concept?
So when it comes to the moment that we have to design that pre-hall for the washrooms, we wanted to put some faucets so people could wash their hands and have a good experience, and not using the proper washrooms, the cabins. So we placed lots of faucets there, and we needed the solution again. Trio was a very good solution because we had the three elements, and once again we designed the basin, the faucet, and it was very interesting because it gave another sense, another feeling, but it accomplished the same mission, which was water, soap, air, all in one, very clean. The floors don't get wet. People don't use paper, it's a very good experience and the solution, and we could apply it in the pre-hall to the washrooms and in the washroom cabins. And people are talking a lot about the SWAR and the Trio because it's something kind of new in Chile. And they're very amazed when they go to the bathroom. It's like, wow, everything is like automatic.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you notice that, I don't know if there's this push to kind of have this more cleanliness past COVID or something like this, or is it just a new trend in general happening across the board since that time?
I think that COVID came to stay in terms that it left lots of things in its way, which will stay. We will never again try to use a faucet we will touch, because if you analyze that, it has always been the same. COVID came here to say, don't touch it again. I think that the touchless experience is the only solution for the cleanliness. Have less maintenance, when they're touchless. We're pressing buttons, when you're pressing buttons. So at the end of the day, that button will die, It has, 2 million
Touches.
When things are touchless, it's different. It's a sensor which doesn't have that human pressure. That is also very important, is that you save lots of water with this product. You save lots of soap, and also the air is controlled. And that's also, when you scale this up in a VIP lounge or in an airport, at the end of the day, it's a lot of energy. Passengers in airports and the VIP lounges flow, but in a very intense quantity, and that's also very important, how to save not only water but also paper, and that is very efficient when you multiply for all the passengers that are visiting lounges and are visiting airports.
What advice would you give to emerging architects who aspire to work in the commercial field or the airport space?
I would advise architects to explore senses when designing, because that's the basic experience of this human being, senses. And senses are feelings. And what design has to transmit are feelings.
How do you like to balance your functionality and aesthetics in your design?
If we're going to use a product or a material that's very beautiful and very interesting, but functionally it's not high traffic, it's not a very clean product, a very efficient product, it won't work. It doesn't mean that something has to be very aesthetically amazing to work in the functionality. Because, for example, VIP lounges are very functional, okay? They have to be high traffic, they have to be very, they clean them 3, 4, 5 times a day, so they have to be very anti-corrosive products, et cetera, et cetera. So if a product looks good and it won't work and it will have stains, permanent stains, it will break down, etc. It won't work. So it won't match in this efficiency or functionality. And that's very important. Behind a VIP lounge, behind a restaurant, behind an airport or corporate project, there's always the backstage that makes everything work, So
Absolutely.
That's also something very important.
What aspect of the Salones VIP project are you the most proud of? What would you say, the most proud of in general? And then what section maybe do you connect with the most?
What I connect the most is with designing that experience. I think that is what moves us a lot in what we do, okay? Is creating that magical moment for people which are very stressed traveling. Even though a guy travels every day and he's a businessman and he's always in VIP lounges, at the end in his brain, there's a chance that something will happen, and that will stress him. So everybody is in a certain tense way. So to collaborate and to contribute with design in unstressing that people and creating a magical atmosphere with affecting their feelings, and make them having a well-being experience. I think that for us, that's very important, okay? And in terms of the lounges, I think that there's a lounge which is in the pier, which corresponds to Easter Island. I think that lounge is very interesting because it's very has a lot to do with Easter Island in materials, colors, textures, experience, space. But you won't see mohais and figures, okay? It's very abstract, and I think it's a very interesting interpretation of the region.
That's so beautiful. First of all, I want to thank you, Jorge, for your time. I want to thank you so much for sharing this amazing inspiration and information about your beautiful project. And
Brittany, thank you for the moment. I would like to thank the company Stern for having the exact perfect product for this project. And also I have to mention something is that thanks to this product, now we have Stern in Chile. So this project was the beginning of the landing of the brand, and now we have the products in Chile, and that's very good for the industry and the region and for our country, because before we didn't have the products in Chile.